Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. I am your host, Caleb Mutemi, and today we are going to be talking about how to make your websites convert. And the reason why we decided to do this webinar is because most people have websites, but they'll hardly get any business from your website. So before we get to discussing the point of topic, allow me to take a moment and introduce you about the company. So Digital for Africa is a web agency, is a digital agency that is based in Nairobi, Kenya, and we offer various services ranging from web design being one of them. We also have various trainings, that is digital marketing masterclass. Our upcoming cohort is on the 9th and 10th of March. We train people to build websites. So we have a web design training. The next cohort will be starting on 3rd April to 29th May. And after that, we have a data analytics training that is from 20th March to 23rd March. Other services we offer is consultational services, and we also do provide one-on-one services for corporate trainings. So today's topic, as I have mentioned, is about how to make your websites convert better. It is a topic that is burning in many entrepreneurs' minds, and you want to make the best out of your website. And our guest for today is none other than Brian. So Brian is the co-director at Digital for Africa. He has over so many years of experience in this industry. He has built websites for so many companies. If you want to view some of the websites he has created, you can visit the link in the comment section and browse on it later on. So Brian, kindly introduce yourself and take it over, and then we'll go to the questions afterward. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Caleb. It's always a pleasure to work with you. Every day that I interact with you, I learn something new, not just in web development, but also in normal human relations. So thank you so much. Without any further ado, my name is Brian Wamiori. I've been making websites. I've been in the tech scene since 2009. And I would say I really enjoy what it is that I do. So ever since I started making websites, there are a couple of lessons that I've learned, and that's what I'll be sharing with you guys today. I am the co-founder of Digital for Africa. We founded Digital for Africa with my colleague Francis back in 2014. I had just cleared my degree, and that's when we kicked off the company. So I look forward to the sharings that we'll be having today, the questions that you guys will ask, and much more. Thank you so much, Caleb.
Okay, thank you, Brian. So that's it from Brian. So if you are joining us, it would really help if you could type in the comments from where you're watching us from. We had asked people to register for the webinar, and we have people who had registered to join us from various industries. We have trainers, we have CEOs, digital marketing, accountants. So if you are joining us live from wherever you are, kindly just put a comment on the session, your name on this comment section. Tell us where you're watching us from, and how you expect us to gain from this webinar. I can see Zach Mayul has joined us, and it feels good to be here. Zach is one of our compatriots back in South Sudan. Zach, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. So, Brian, today's topic is about how to make websites convert. And before we get into the questions that people had pre-streamed earlier, probably you can take
Yes.
us through what actually makes a good website, and what people can implement in their websites in order to make them convert. I can see Chepkunan Lembus. He's joining us from West Pokot. Christine, who is a virtual assistant, joining us from Kenya. Welcome, Christine. Also, Catherine from Seiso Consultancy is here with us. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. In fact, Catherine joined us in our last masterclass, and we'll bring her on board one day to tell you her experience and what she felt about it. And Como also, who joined us in our last masterclass, is here with us. Yes, and it's a pleasure to have you all. We hope it will be an engaging session where you'll get to learn and get insights to put into your work. So Brian, kindly do a brief introduction, and then once you're done, we'll get right to the questions. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Caleb. I'll just present a very few slides because of the sake of time. We have quite a number of websites we need to have a look at. So it's only fair that I don't spend too much time on the slides. So maximum 5 minutes if I take too much time. But either way, if you have a question beyond that, you're welcome to ask, and for sure we'll be able to engage further. So in a minute, I should be sharing. I think I'm good to go. So yes, allow me to share my screen.
Please do. As you share your screen, I have also seen Grace Nzo, who says it's a pleasure to be here. And she's from Nairobi, Kenya.
I think Caleb can confirm that my screen is visible before
Yes,
I kick off.
Yes,
okay, thank you
visible.
so much. Okay. So I know in most cases there's a very big mismatch between the web development conversation when people are making websites and the conversion conversation. In most cases, actually, those things are had in two different conversations altogether. But today we would want to really combine them and ask ourselves, what really do we need to do to make websites convert? So in a nutshell, just taking you through the process in a very few slides. So first and foremost, there's no secret per se that we'll be sharing. It's just a process. So the best way you should think about an audit to a website is with the help of a checklist. And a checklist is simply just a stepwise direction to be able to help you know, this is what I need to look at, this is another thing I need to look at, and this is another thing I need to look at. So for instance, it could be the images on your website. That's part of the checklist. It could be the content, or it could be typography. Those are some of the things that we'll be looking at. You can think of the checklist as just a set of questions you are asking yourself about your website. And those are the things that we will be that's the same criteria we use, not just to audit websites, but also to develop websites. So when I get a new website on my desk, I don't just start the website. There is a process that I follow, and it's among the most important things that you can incorporate in anything. And the truth is, almost everything that we have in the digital space has a checklist or an audit checklist to it. It could even be social media. If right now you went to Google and just searched Facebook page audit checklist, you will find several resources for the same. So the checklist that we normally use, and I would encourage as a good starting point, and this will be sharing, by the way, with you, the participants, soon, is the one I've highlighted here. First and foremost, it's on the clarity of the content. So what the test even we'll be doing with most of the websites, when we just, as soon as we load the website, the question we'll be asking ourselves is, can you be able to tell what it is that they do just at a glance? You'd find, instead of a consultant telling you, this is my specialty or this is what I can do for you, they just leave it ambiguous that they are consultants. So those are some of the things we'll be fixing. And the approach that we will take, as much as we are auditing several websites, you can also borrow lessons from any other place and just apply them to your own website, because we can't be able to cover the entire scope for each individual website. The clarity of the content. The second thing is the extensiveness of the content. Have you been able to explain in further detail what it is that you do not just mention? So if you're selling legal services, if you just tell me that you have mitigation services as part of your value proposition, it's not really enough to convince me to convert. I'd want to know, who have you served in the past? Is there something you can show me to showcase your credibility? Is it a certification? Is it a testimonial? So the extensiveness of the content also really matters. Speed is another thing. Of course, we've seen the websites that load very slowly and how it can impact how people interact with that website. So, and we'll be looking at a tool or two on that. Typography is another thing. I've seen a lot of websites having almost the same size of text everywhere. And in terms of readability, we don't want something in the form of an article that has the entire, it's not like a composition or a paragraph that is continuous from start to finish of the page. You really need to create the breaks and have titles which are bigger than the rest of the text, the body of the text. And that's even applicable as well for blogs. We have also navigation and search. Imagine if I take you to Jumia, for instance, I remove the search box. You'll almost not find anything. If I take you to also some of our websites and I tell you to look for a product or service, you might find it's under a category, a subcategory, then you find that product or service. Actually, we were doing the same today with one of the banks that I was interacting with. And we found that there were 4 steps before you actually get to the service, and that can be a hindrance to good user experience. Image optimization, not just the names, but also the sizes. And there are several tools online that you can be able to use to compress an image to the level that you would want. So those are some of the things that we'll be looking at, and we can look at an example or two for one of the websites, and all of us can apply the same in all our websites without necessarily going through the details for each website. Then trust elements, among the most important things that I would consider needs to be done inside a website is have as many trust elements as possible. Trust elements are things like testimonials, case studies, citations, and much more. And the testimonials can be either in video or in text. You can have it in various formats, especially for the consultants in the room, the consultants who are actually listening to this webinar. If you don't have enough trust elements, it's very hard for people to believe that you're capable to do what it is that you do. Because for most services, for at least most services online, if I can only commit if I really believe in your capabilities. So that's a very important thing to factor in when you're building websites. Then last but not least, call to actions. I have seen multiple websites on the web telling you, yes, you've loved our services. They expect you to go back to the contact us page and reach out to them and tell them exactly what it is that you liked, or you wanted to engage, or you wanted to actually further the conversation or buy the product, or whatever the call to action may be. So it's very important to think about the call to action as among the most important things inside the website. As soon as I scroll at the end, at the bottom of the services page, at the beginning of the services page, have you given me a form that I can fill, a number that I can call, an email that I can write to, telling me this is the action that I want you to take as a customer. If I'm selling land, tell me the call to action should be something like a site visit, should be something like book a session with a sales representative. You could fill a form, you could make a call, you could send an email. There are several things you could even maybe chat with someone via WhatsApp. But having call to actions is among the most important things to have when you're looking at your website. So with just this list, even before going to any of our websites, it's good you self-examine yourself based on the points that we've set out here, and ask yourself, do you actually meet all these things with respect to your services, your products, or what it is that you do? And just to share with you one of the resources that we'll be looking at, you can visit digitalforafrica.com/resources. There are several. One of the resources that we have on that page, one of the resources that we have on that page is a tools mega list. And some of those tools are in relation to websites. So I know a lot of people asked questions with respect to SEO. You'll find a number of tools for SEO that you can start your audit with. Some of us were asking questions with respect to aspects of websites. You'll find other resources in relation to websites also on the same list. So take advantage of them. It's free of charge. You can go crazy and do as much research as possible and benefit from that. But before we go into the flesh of our websites and asking the questions, I also want to enable you to do the same on your end without necessarily having to rely on a consultant all the time. You can also do part of the things that we do as consultants from your perspective. So even on Google, if you, as I was saying earlier, you can search for a Facebook page checklist. You can also search for, like what I've just put out on the screen, an SEO website checklist, and you will find numerous results. Among the ones that I found just by doing that search earlier today, there's a very good resource by MailChimp. There's also another resource by ahrefs.com. So check them out. So depending on your need, you could say website optimization checklist, or even go into detail about the kind of website you have. Let's say WordPress or Joomla or whichever other website that you have, and look for the optimization checklist or whichever other checklist that you need. It might be in relation to UX or UI or whatever else that you care for. So that's it in a nutshell. I was able to take a little bit, about 5 minutes, but I believe we'll be able to recoup, especially with the websites and the questions ahead. So Caleb, kindly direct us to the next thing. Santi Sana.
Okay, thank you very much. I think those are some quite strong points, and despite the fact that you brushed just at the top of each and every one of them, I believe people can go deeper into some of them. For example, the content on their websites, and to see if it communicates the right thing that they want to do. So we can go directly to the audit of the various websites that people submitted. And I can see we can start with one from somebody who commented, and I saw Grace Zhao. So Brian, we can audit her website as the first one. And if you are here, you are watching us live and you had submitted, just comment with your name and we shall look into your website next. So Brian, if you can take us through the list of it is neliusmedia.com. And
kindly just share the link, because I've already opened the websites and there are quite a number of them. So I may not be able to, unless I go with the order I have, I may not be able to really know how to trace that website. So I think you've shared the link. Thank you. So let me just have a look. I can prioritize that now, then go to the other websites.
Good.
It's pronounced Newsline Media. Oh, I think that's the way it's pronounced. Okay. So I think I'm allowed to share, Caleb. I think that's okay.
Yes, you are. Yeah. But then just to let everybody know, we had a total of 28 websites that were submitted for us to audit. So the first few are the ones we'll go into details, and then later on, we'll just be brushing and touching some of the pain points.
Give me a second. Should open it. There we go. And now let me share.
So Grace, take out your notebook. Get ready to write some of the points.
Okay. Before even we go into the conversation of Grace's website, it's important to keep in mind that with each website, we're not necessarily communicating to any other person. We're not communicating to just machines. We are communicating technically to people. We're actually talking to people via the medium of our website. So, Grace, picture this. You have the customer seated next to you, and they are asking you about your product or service. There is a way that you would take them through your products or services that you might find in most cases is not the same on the website. You would tell them about your portfolio. You would tell them about things that you've done in the past. You would tell them about your process. You would tell them about things that probably if I went to your website, I wouldn't find. And think of the website as just a medium to communicate to millions of people out there who are not seated next to you, but could be seated next to you via the website medium. So if I just glance at this website, I see by the way you've done a great job in terms of, by the way, we will not even criticize the colors, will not criticize anything with respect to the typography. It has been done very well. But one thing that I would care for more on the website, let's say if I go to, I think that link is broken. If I go to a different section, such as the services, I'd want to see more trust elements to really convince me that these are the people to work with. Show me an example, show me trust elements, show me testimonials, show me a little bit more than just the normal things that mention the product or mention the service that you have. So, and I see also there are a couple of broken links on the website, so you can just also keep that in mind. Like the services link at the top is broken. Maybe that it's under development, so just have a look at it as well and and fix it. See, you have a shop, that's good. But one of the things even we saw in our previous masterclass, just the one that ended the other day, is that people don't want to do conversions. They want just to get the price as is. So keep in mind that as well. When I look at the product, when I look at an individual product, yes, there's some dummy text. You mentioned that the website is being still developed. So you fix that. And this section, by the way, is very important for SEO. So keep in mind, do a bit of research. If you need more insights on that, you can reach out and we can give you some time on what you need to do. But do a bit of research, cover the necessary keywords, cover the necessary categories in that excerpt of text, and you'll be able to improve a little bit more on how your website performs in general. But long and short of it, try to imagine the user of your website next to you, and you'll always be able to be able to do something better. Can I go to the next one?
Yeah, you can. But
Caleb?
probably yes, you can. But probably to add something also
Okay.
on this website, I can see from the hero section of the homepage, it only contains the word home. That is nothing else. So
Yes,
from
the top, the top
yes, yes,
section, yeah.
the top section of your homepage should speak more about what your company is about, and should so exact the second part looks more like the hero section than the hero section itself.
Yeah, that's what I figured as well. So I think also in the just the title,
Yeah,
when you look at the title from the tab, it's live streaming and digital videography in Nairobi, Kenya. That's brilliant, and that should be actually the replacement of home. So you could just factor that in, and I think this description is by an SEO tool, maybe Yoast or Rank Math. So you could just make sure that's over here, and that applies by the way to every other page, including also product pages, but you do it in a smart way. I think we can move to the next one, Caleb, because of
yeah,
time.
sure, sure.
Yeah. So I have mega pipes as well. I like the design in general for the website, but this is something going out to everyone who's a service provider, especially in real estate or construction. Whatever I'm about to share is applicable to you. What I have seen mostly with people in this industry is they send the end solution as opposed to the complete solution. What is it? What do I mean? Let's say you are selling tiles, bathtubs, taps, or even cement online. In most cases, end buyers, even for the pipes that you are selling, are looking at the complete solution as opposed to the product that is used to create the complete solution. So the feedback that I would give you inside this website is you have a very brilliant design. Run with it, but think of the wholesome solution, the complete solution, and cover that content on your website. Because even unless I am the engineer in charge of this product, and in most cases, yes, that is a person that who will come to the website and convert. Most other people are looking for the wholesome, complete solution, especially in real estate. If you're selling bags of cement versus you're telling people how they can use your products to get the final solution, or where they can get other elements of the final solution, even if it's not in your shop, you are more likely to convert better. So it's the most feedback here is on the extensiveness of the content. Go a little bit beyond the products and now focus on the solution, just as you mentioned on the title to the website. But generally, I really like this website. It's very obvious what it is that you sell. We have no question about that. But just factor in the wholesome solution as something that you would want to put here. I like the fact that you have case studies. By the way, it's not just about talking about the negative things on our website, but also the positive. I like the fact that you have case studies on your website. This at least is proof of your capabilities, because we can be able to see where your work has been implemented and where it is that you have been able to impact other companies. But also don't beat yourself up, because the website and the industry that you are in is very niche. So not everyone, in fact, I can even confidently say almost everyone in this webinar might not be your ideal customer. So you have a very niche product or very niche solution. So also don't beat yourself up if you don't get a lot of traffic. You should care mostly for the person who's coming to the website is my target audience or my target customer, and they can be able to find a solution, whatever it is that they need, wholesomely on my website. Caleb, anything to add before I move to the next one?
Not necessarily, but I think whatever you have said about clarity of content is also almost similar feedback I had about it. But later on, we are going to discuss about how to use keywords to optimize, which is one of the questions that Catherine had raised. So, yeah.
Okay, now we'll get to that. So we have the next website. It's called Own It Kenya. I want to assume they're in real estate. The naming, by the way, is very clever, very brilliant. But even just before I do anything more for this website, assuming you don't know the URL, you are doing research on mobile. And by the way, to check mobile inside your browser, web browser, you can just right click and click on inspect, and you'll see a mobile icon over here at the very top towards the right. You click on it, and you can even dictate the type of phone that you want to see, and you'll see the mobile version of your website, for instance. So even before going too far, it's almost not clear what these guys are offering. Yes, we can be able to assume or guess they're in the real estate, but what exactly are they offering? Are they selling apartments, renting apartments? Are they selling houses, renting houses? What exactly is it? Are they an agent of some sort? So this real estate that is not being used at the very top is among the most important things that you should be able to, even without scrolling, I should be able to tell you do this, and this is the pain point you are addressing to me as the customer. So even without scrolling, that's an improvement aspect that you can think about. Then with real estate, because of just the environment that real estate exists in within our country, you need a lot of trust elements, And I repeat that. The reason being, there's a lot of fishy business going on with respect to real estate. So I want to see people you have sold to show me a testimonial, show me something that would be able to make me believe that you are credible. But one thing I did like on this website is that they have been able to name things in relation to what people are looking for. So in real estate, people really don't care for companies. In most cases, people don't care for companies. If I'm looking for an apartment inside a particular location, I would go to Google and search land for sale in Kitengela. I would search apartment for rent along Gong Road. I will not search anything about your respective company. So the way you name the particular property is very important. So apartment for sale in Athi River, and you can go a little bit beyond and give me more context. Is it a 2-bedroom apartment? Is it a 3-bedroom apartment? Does it have any special feature? And you can still do that within the name. Does it have any special feature? Let's say all en suite, a 2-bedroom apartment for sale in Athi River. Then I can be able to see the price, and that also contributes to your findability or search or SEO. And I'd encourage, as much as yes, you have the nomenclature very, very well and you can improve for sure, as I've said, I'd encourage also distinguishing between things which are for sale, for rent, and also I see Airbnbs and also rentals, normal rentals, which are different categories. So you could categorize them a little bit better. But nonetheless, to also get the numbers to your website, because I know also real estate is something that is very sales intensive. To get the numbers to your website, consider also doing active campaigns, 360 campaigns that lead traffic to your website. And we can be able to help you more on that in case you need any more insights. In fact, we cover that in our masterclass. Any feedback on your end, Caleb, before I move to the next one?
I can see they had a call to action, various ones, which is good. That's a good point to them.
Yes.
So what I'd be keen on from their end is ensuring that there is somebody seriously manning the other end of their call to actions, because it would not look good if somebody reaches out but you never reach to them back. So that's the
Yeah, true.
feedback
Very,
I
very, very true. Very true. Yes, I completely agree.
yeah.
Okay, on to the next one. We have a consultant in the house. They call Mitch and Ronia consultants. So one of the things that I discovered as soon as I landed on this website for the first time was, this is the initial slide that you see. Business consultant, increase your business, grow your revenue. In fact, by the way, if you've noticed, we're not really criticizing design because most people have good design. It's not that the web developer didn't do a good job. Most of us, almost at least 95% of us have good design on websites. But where we could improve is on copy, is on what exact text do we have, and other small areas of optimization, such as images. So, for instance, if you tell me, and if I would just, this is a rhetorical question we can ask ourselves as the audience. If you tell me, increase, I'm trying to go back to that side, excuse me, increase your business, grow your revenue. I don't know exactly what you offer at this point. And this is the time, this is the slide, this is the section that is among the most important things for me to understand what you have to offer. Keep in mind, anyone who's going to your website is doing research, especially if they're coming from search. They are doing research. So they are Googling something like insurance, they're Googling something like financial services, they're Googling the best in consultant for that particular item or field, and they are coming across your website and they are seeing something that is not very clear on what it is that you have to offer. And most consultants will tell you, if I don't understand what you offer, I will not buy. They'll always tell you, by the way, if customers don't understand what you offer, I will not buy. So my advice would be, in that very section, appeal to the pain point. Tell me, instead of telling me you're a business consultant, be more clear on what type of consultant you are. Are you a HR consultant? Are you a sales marketing consultant? What exactly do you do? Then is, as part of the copy, appeal to a pain point. Tell me very clearly what it is that you offer. And an example would be, you can even visit our website, but you can even just check out how I did, just from the list of websites that we have, something like this. It's very clear what this company offers. Even if I just send you the link and you land there, you're like, oh, these guys offer pharmaceutical compliance solutions. So yes, they are consultants, but we went a little bit to explain what they have and what they have to offer. So that approach is very important. And also as a consultant, something else, going back to the websites we've mentioned, it's mostly about convincing me that you're capable to offer the service. So show me a case study. Because our industry as consultants, or rather just the generalized consultancy industries, can be very ambiguous. It's not clear how capable you are. And if I'm seeing 3, 4 websites, 5 websites, everyone is telling me the same thing, why should I go for your option as opposed to the 3, 4 others that are there before me? So if I just go through this website, yes, I see there are trust elements from place to place. And I see also you've gone into detail here a little bit, but factor in that this is among the most important sections. And also keep in mind that you can add a little bit of trust elements. And from there, you can now carry out a few campaigns here and there to be able to sell a little bit more and just gain more traffic. I think because of time, Caleb just notified me if I spend a little bit more time on a particular website, because we have so many websites we need to finish. Out of the
Yeah,
net,
okay, yeah, no
probably there
worries.
are questions as well. So you should have a
Yes,
hard stop of the websites probably by 45 past. So
that's
because we need to finish by the top of the hour. Okay. Uh, Allow me to proceed. Zach,
yes.
this is to you. And unfortunately, I saw your website wasn't loading. I tried several times, but so that's just something you need to factor in. To be able to track this behavior, you can use a tool called Pingdom. Whenever your website goes offline, you're notified, and you can take the necessary action to be able to fix that. There was also, yeah, this is the same website. I was trying to Google it, find is the website okay, or is it back online? I see there's still a problem. It's not back online. So just keep that in mind. If you give someone your business card and it has your website and they see this, or they were Googling and they came across your website, they see this, that's where the conversation ends. The web does not really have room for people on the web are not that patient to come back and come back again to see if your website is online again. So just keep that in mind. Use Pingdom. It will be able to help you sort that out. Then we have MK Creatives, Kenya.company.site. I think this is from a free, one of the free website solutions. But despite that, as much as we would encourage you buy a domain and get some private hosting, that's important also just for basic SEO. It's very important to have your domain, because this would limit the things you are able to do. It's good that on the website, tell me what you're doing. But like without scrolling, you're almost telling me to commit without necessarily convincing me or educating me about what it is that you do. So I'm seeing toolkits, I'm seeing branding templates, I'm seeing portfolio. I assume you are in printing or you are in branding of some sort, but I really don't want to make that assumption. Let's say I'm looking for a business card. I want a business card designed. It's not up to me as the customer to start figuring out each section and what it is that you have in each section so that I'm able to convert. I simply want to find it very easily, maybe search, maybe find it via top navigation. And already you've already told me, even without going further into the website, what is your value proposition at the beginning of the conversation. What exactly do you have to offer? So think of it even when you're doing an event. If you just tell me sign up for the event, the first thing I see, click here, pay, sign up. You haven't even told me when the event is, why should I come to the event? Who are the speakers? And that's the main failure with most people on the web. They go directly to what it is that will create a transaction, as opposed to thinking about it from a customer perspective. Remember the analogy that I gave at the beginning. Imagine the customer is seated next to you. You would not give them your M-Pesa pay bill and buy goods or whatever. You would
Yes,
start with, this is what I do. This is what I offer. This is why I'm distinct. So keep the conversation the same way on the web, because almost none of us are a monopoly. We are dealing with competitors out there. So factor in that you have 100, a million, or whatever number of competitors, and you really need to distinguish yourself on the online space. And we have another one, another website here, Flight Creatives. I like this copy. This is among the websites that I really liked in terms of the way they've just introduced the website, and that's the you are actually 50% of where it is that you need to go. So we are a globally trusted brand in media production and branding. That's it. So I think now beyond here, uh, it's yes, this button leads to the about page, but at least I see the portfolio section here. So you could be telling me this is what it is that we have done before. That's brilliant. If you just add that extra button or change the button, yes, introduce the company, which is very important, but also showcase this is the work that we've done, and we can be able to do the same for you. So this is a good case study just to showcase to also some of us the capabilities, what it is that you can be able to offer. But on the on the portfolio, in fact, by the way, Caleb shared this website as among the good examples within the chart. So it's flightcreatives.co.ke. On the portfolio, I would encourage you expound a little bit about what it is that you've done. I see there are two things, there are two portfolio items that you've put. You can
Yeah.
enrich it a little bit further. For instance,
Right.
if you go to the client's page on Digital for Africa,
To add on that, they had explained that they have launched it on February, so there might be some dummy texts in between. So I think
Okay.
it's
So
still
keep
under.
on keeping on. Yeah. I think the website is a living organism. So keep on enriching it so that
Yes.
we make it even better make it even better day by day. I see it's 40 past. We should end by 8. So we need to really rush. So excuse me if I only spend 30 seconds on your website. For sure, we can be able to give you more, but you can use the checklist as we have mentioned, and we'll be sharing these checklists to all the participants via email a little bit later. We'll develop them, put them on our website, then just broadcast them. A checklist for your website and a little bit more also as a bonus. So there is another website here, Ipambo Designs, Craft Your Space. So these taglines are usually good, but also really keep in mind that put texts with relation to what people are searching, then use the taglines as a subheading. So I would put craft your space as the subheading somewhere like here and put a pain point or a solution related kind of a bit of text inside here. Like if you're doing graphic design, tell me you're the best graphic design firm in town, then prove it by a portfolio or trust elements. So it's mostly I'm seeing the number one thing that we just need to do on most of our website is improve on the content or extend the content a little bit more. Just the first two elements that we have on the checklist. There was another website here that failed to load, so we can just skip that. There's Gatsby Africa, gatsbyafrica.org.uk. The, with this is a nonprofit, and with nonprofits, it's the incentive and the call to action mostly that you want is not necessarily to do anything in relation to commerce, but to showcase to also potential the people who care for your for the kind of things that you are doing, to showcase that you can partner with them. So for this website, mostly what I would encourage is having a section that can be able to really extend that conversation. So yes, we are able to see the portfolio, and there's some feedback also I was able to give them on a one-to-one basis. But yes, we are able to see what it is that you do, but also have a section on the website about potential partners that we would love to partner with this kind of people if it's something that's open to the organization. But more or less, the other item that I think is still under development inside Gatsby is just an extensiveness of the things that they have, the reports, and a little bit more of what it is that they've been able to do. But the clarity of what it is that they are offering is there to some extent, which is a good thing. And it's just being able to take that to a deeper level, especially with video content, like we have seen in some other nonprofit websites as well. So keep in mind there's a partner conversation on Gatsby, and also do as much as you can with video content because it adds a different layer to emotion as well. Let's move on to the next one. I see time is not on our side, so allow me to Rambo International. I want to see, okay. Even without moving too further with this website, I see, yes, they by the name Rambo Leather, I can be able to tell, excuse me, I can be able to tell that they sell or make leather products at least. But I'd use this piece of real estate a little bit wiser. I'd have some text here. Yes, Rainbow International is the name of the business or the name of the company, but I'd want to expound a little bit on what it is that they have to offer to anyone who's coming to the website. Tell me what it is that you do. Have a paragraph at least a little bit below that. Rainbow International, tell me the best leather products in Eastern Africa, or the best categorize if it is specific to bags or wallets or whatever it is. You can be more specific about what you have to offer, because here you're almost assuming that I know what you do. Then if I come now to other sections a little bit below, I can see the products, which is a good thing. I can see the products, and I see you've quite invested quite a bit of photography, and kudos to that. But at the very top, you have the opportunity to showcase people what it is that you have to offer, and that those are that. It seems like a very simple detail, but that's among the things that really boosts you in terms of search, and also in terms of SEO in general. We went through that, so we can just skid over to the other few websites. So I think we'll just have to have a hard stop at 50. We cover a couple of questions, Caleb. Then now we can be able to do something else later on. And if this is something you would want us to do again, we can even have a different session in the future, another webinar just covering this topic, because I see there's a lot of demand, there's a lot of opportunity for us to help people out there. So we have Paves at Agro Limited, that's the name of the brand, the experts in farming advisory services. This is the kind of copy that we are talking about. Be very detailed and specific about what it is that you do. Excuse me. We provide expert farming tips. So at this stage, I have already learned what it is that these guys offer. So what I want to do in this copy is give someone an example or a sneak peek in what it is that we are able to do. Yes, you are telling me to contact an expert. That's a very good call to action. But beside it, show me a case study. Show me what it is that you've done. You've taken this farmer from this place and you've moved them to this other place. And I bet if we look at the work that you've done, for sure you can get such testimonial. So even without going too far into too much detail about your website, factor that in as among the first things that you need to do. Put as much trust elements as possible within your website, and have a generalized approach. Yes, if I'm a farmer, I might really know what I want. Maybe my problem is soil. Maybe my problem is fertilizer. Maybe my problem is pests and diseases, and you can approach it from that level, but also have a generalized conversation towards also gaining the customer. Like, you have whatever problem, tell us the problem, and we'll be able to give you a solution.
So,
But
Brian,
also incorporate a lot of trust elements. Yes.
allow me to cut you there. I can see we are running out of time, and we have 15 more websites to look into. So for the 15 remaining, just allow me to mention them, and then they can reach out personally. We give them the personal feedback on a one-on-one basis. So
Okay.
we have Takwaso, Takwasako, and then we have atmospheric season. Then we have tuendele.org. Then we have Specters Kenya. Then we have those ones are repeated. Then we have finopag.com. Then we have Newbridge Connect, elevator.co. Tawasako again, then Pong Africa, then JFlux, and then Housefly Engine. So for those ones that I've mentioned, kindly just shoot us a DM in either of our social media, and we'll go through them personally. So we have questions. If you have any question that you feel you would like to be answered right now, kindly take the opportunity to type it on the comment section. But I think to kickstart, I can see several people had asked about SEO and how we can optimize them. So probably, Brian, if you touch point and speak something about SEO, because I can see that Christine Wanja had asked about it, and also that is Ashley who had also asked about it. So over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Caleb. Uh, I know when people think about SEO, mostly, especially if you're very new to the SEO world, we really think about some magic that you need to do to rank as number one. It's not really something ambiguous. Think of it from two dimensions. One, you are very useful, or you are being very useful to what people are looking for or what people need. So, in the case of a simple product like web design services, for instance, you have mentioned web design services on your website, and you have actually gone further into doing a little bit more and explaining what it is that you do, and you've spent some detail. You've actually detailed it out a little bit more. So that's the first dimension or perspective to look at. Then secondly, I know a lot of people asked about keywords, keyword research. Am I using the right keywords? And SEO is not really about tricking people. It's not really about I've used the keyword, now come. It's really about using that keyword and being useful with respect to that keyword. And one of the things that we've even done, um, like in among the most recent articles we did, not really the recent, it's quite old, but we created content very relevant to what people are looking for, and also in relation to what people in relation to what the services that we offer. So when you search something like top websites, you would find Digital for Africa. When you search something like UX services, you'd find Digital for Africa. But we are using the usefulness, or we are using our website and the fact that we need to be useful to the search on a content perspective on what it is that you will find. But all in all, for SEO, if just you want a head start on SEO, yes, we will share a checklist, one that you can use to be able to just kickstart your SEO journey. But you can even do more extensive research just on Google. If you search SEO checklist right now, it will detail you will get several resources with numerous tools, including the ones that we shared on digitalforafrica.com/resources, that you can be able to use to be able to kickstart your SEO journey. But SEO is not really about a magic or tricking people or tricking search engines to become number one. It's more about being useful, because also search engines really factor in how much time are people spending on this page. They don't just serve pages based on, yes, you've covered the keywords, but if people are coming, spending 3 seconds, leaving, everyone who's coming to that page is doing the same, you eventually will not rank, because search engines only serves pages that people find useful and people are actually interacting with, people are converting, people are clicking, people are going to other pages. Those are the among the most important things
And
to
also
keep.
another question that has
Yes.
come: do you need technical skills to be able to achieve that?
No, you just follow the checklist. The checklist, you don't need technical skills. Probably the only thing that you might need to know is where to go, or how to log into the back end of your website. But if it's as simple as editing content, if it's just changing bits of text or adding more content or being more relevant, you don't need technical information. If you just follow the necessary processes or checklist, you'll be able to cover, and you can even search checklists with respect to your technology. So if you're having a WordPress website, you can search WordPress SEO checklist as the starting point to improving your website. So you don't need any technical skills, or even if you do, it's very little. It's not too detailed. Yes.
Okay. The other question that had come is related to advertising and Google AdSense. People are saying that their Google AdSense, they feel that Someone even said that they have hired a person and they feel that that person is not giving them what they have. And in relation to that, we had questions that had come in about landing pages and how you can optimize them in order for you to get revenue from them.
Okay, I think I'll start with the AdSense conversation first. I started looking at AdSense as soon as Google released it. That's 15 or more years ago. And what I realized, the gold rush at that time was everyone thought if I have AdSense on my website, I'll get paid because Google is serving ads on my website and I am able to make some money from that. But the truth is, as much as that can be a direction you need to take, the better way to think about e commerce or selling value online is really giving people or selling, putting information or something in the form of a resource behind a paywall. So let's say, for example, you offer a particular course which is very premium. You can go online and instead of really concentrating too much on AdSense, because even if you get it right, you really have to have substantial traffic even to be considered for AdSense. Even if you get it right, the money is never really, it's peanuts. But if you're selling a course, even if you're selling your course for 1,000 shillings, 500 shillings, and you're able to monetize and reach to 1,000 people or 100 people. I've helped people sell ebooks online, and I have seen that even if you're selling your ebook for as little as 500 shillings and you are selling to every other person that you encounter, you are able to make money. You are making money online, and that's a better business model any other day. I remember there is a checklist that I bought via someone via WhatsApp. It was it was like a checklist, but it was a manual of some sort for starting some type of business, and they were selling it online. You send to them 50 shillings on M-Pesa and they send it to you via WhatsApp, and that way it's a better business model any day than trying to concentrate on AdSense. On the matter of landing pages, it goes back to the conversation that we had for for uh, for content, extensive content. So yes, it's good. It's really important to have individual pages for each service, because even from an SEO perspective, assuming I'm a search engine, on the same page, you have talked about your HR consultancy service. You have talked about your financial consultancy service. You have talked about your insurance consultancy service. I can't really be able to serve that page as a search engine to anyone who's looking for HR because it's only mentioned in a paragraph or in a sentence or in a statement. But if you had a separate page for that, it even makes more sense. Or you're looking for HR consultant, look at this page. Then, if you want a little bit more now beyond that, you can see what other services that they have to offer. So it goes back to the extensive content that we were mentioning a little bit earlier. It's important to factor that in on landing pages and also just the way you actually outline the content on your website. Go a little bit beyond what everyone is doing, and that's the only way you'll distinguish yourself from the pack. Any other question?
Yes, we had Latifa, who actually was very eager to get the audit for her website. So Latifa, we apologize for having not reached there, but you can see us personally and we'll give you an audit ourselves. But she had asked two questions, and one of them is the audit results. She wanted to know what she can improve, but how the question is, how can you create significant website? Let's say you have done your SEO, you have done all that, but what are some of the other ways you can use to bring traffic to your website?
With respect to website development in general, there are checklists for website development. So those could be the best starting point. Like do this, do this, do this. There's actually a Chrome extension, and remind me, we can share that later. There's a Chrome extension that you can use to be able to do a full audit of your website. And it goes into detail about all aspects, be it SEO, be it CRO, be it content, be it images, you name it. So that could be a good thing. Instead of really trying to answer that question from only one dimension, it's good that you just factor in the entire process the right way. And then now from there, you are able to reap the dividends. So there is no magic bullet per se. It's just doing a lot of things the right way. Then you reap the benefits. Any other
Yes.
question?
The last question is somebody asking how much does a domain cost, and that is Fepcoman. She's asking how much does it cost to buy a domain, and can we help her in building a website?
Okay, on domains, they really depend. .orgs, .com, .co.ke, .ke, .africa, they're all charged separately, but an average cost for domains is 1,000 shillings, regardless of the registrar. But I know a little bit beyond the domains, not just the domain, but also hosting. Hosting plus domain for most companies would start at about 5,000 or so shillings just on average. So there is hosting, there's the domain, plus SSL, the SSL certificate. That's the encryption certificate. So with those three things, it's an average of 5 to 6,000 shillings as a budget. But development is a different conversation altogether. Maintenance also is a different conversation altogether. If you're engaging a consultant and the consultant is the one making changes on your website, they will charge you depending on whatever the consultant charges. And also, if you are engaging in any other type of service beyond just the normal hosting, buying a domain, and the like, you would also pay for that respective services. And there are so many out there, including CRM related ones or Cloudflare related ones, DNS configuration, security ones. There are so many. It's a very big, it's a endless jungle of resources. Yes, Caleb, any other question?
No, I believe we can end there. So the others are quite repeated, but Latifa says she'll appreciate and she'll definitely reach out to us. So if you are in the webinar or if you submitted a question and you felt we never covered it deeply, just reach out to us and we'll give you more consultations. But to answer some of the questions that had come about maintainers and website development, you can send us an email at hello at digitalafrica.com with your questions and inquiries. But as long as you attended the webinar, we are going to give you a checklist and also some tools that will enable you to test the speed and the performance of your website in detail. So I believe that's it from us. Thank you to our speaker, Brian, for taking us through the detailed ways. And just to recap, for those who joined a little bit late, for the checklist, when you are doing a checklist, the very first thing you should have for you is that ensure your content is as clear as possible, because this content is what will make people convert in your website. So try and put your content as clear as possible. So the second thing is speed and how long it takes for your website to load. Actually, the average, the maximum time, if it takes more than 5 seconds, that's a slow speed on the internet. So ensure that your speed is fast. We mentioned about the typography and how several elements are placed on your website. After that, we talked about navigation, and navigation is a very key thing. If it's difficult for somebody to find elements in your website or to find services in your website, then you might be losing traffic from time to time. And the next one, which was very important, is image optimization. And under image optimization, it's not advisable to have an image that has very large megabytes on your website. This reduces the speed of loading and all other elements of your website. Second, lastly, we talk about trashed elements, that is testimonials, videos, case studies, and even when we were looking at the website, we saw that some people had implemented this, which is good, and always continue improving on it. And last but not least, we talked about for your checklist to consider whether your website is converting and how to make it convert better. Remember your call to actions. So there are various types of call to actions. We have forms, calls, WhatsApp, and email. So ensure these call to actions that if somebody feels them, that there is another person on the end who will receive it on their end. So over back to you. Any closing remark from you, Brian, as we close the webinar?
It's been a pleasure doing this webinar with you, Caleb. You've been a wonderful host. But just as a parting shot, I would like to tell people that websites are living organisms. It's not a one shot thing. You do something and you let it be and you expect results over and over again. They are living organisms, so we need to keep on thinking about them and improving them with time. And that way is the best way that you can be able to reap the maximum benefits. Keep on adding to your blog. A blog that you do today could be giving you traffic 3 years from now. But if you just write 3 blogs and you never write blogs again, you will never reap the benefits. If you keep on talking about your services or improving or asking yourself, looking at your analytics, asking yourself how you can improve, asking yourself set questions, who is coming to my website, what I can do to make the experience better. That's the way you grow on your website. So keep in mind that a website is a living organism and you need to keep on interacting with it and improving it with time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brian. I believe that's it from us at Digital for Africa. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to having you join us in our future coming webinars. And if you have any further questions or you need assistance in any of our services, make sure to reach out to us for training and services alike. We have various pages that you can visit. Let's say you wanted to learn how to build a website, kindly visit our web development page, and from there you will learn about where you can go to when you want to build a website. Also, we do offer have a digital marketing masterclass that is upcoming in next week. If you feel that you want to improve your performance in the digital space, there are a lot of things that you can focus on, not only from content and websites. Also, we go further to discuss things like social media and the rest. So make sure to check it out and reach out to us. Last but not least, you can check out our data analytics page. And my part in short would be that in this world where everything has become so digital, what are you using your data, the one that you obtain, to get the best out of your business? So I've been your host, Caleb Mutemi, and I hope from the webinar you have been able to learn how to make your websites convert. We look forward to continuing this conversation, and we look forward to seeing you in our upcoming webinars. Thank you, and do have a lovely rest of the evening.